Hello, it's your boy Mr. CV. I'm back with another special video, and I'm back once again on Wahala Wednesday. Now Wahala Wednesday, like I always say in Yoruba, Wahala ti poju, which simply means Wahala is too much, there's too much problem. Or like I always say in pidgin English, Wahala no dey finish, which means that there's always going to be problems, so problems is just part of life. We're back again. Like I said, I'm going to try and be making these Wahala Wednesdays as much as I can, and also as well I just need to find lots of different scenarios and things that actually happened. So hopefully I'm going to extend myself to do that, but also I require you guys as well to also drop some problems as well in the comment section, or write to me on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, wherever you are. And obviously I can always share the problems, my thoughts on here. Like I always say, my thoughts are not facts, they're just my opinion, they're just how I see things. And sometimes as well, even though I see things a certain way, when you are in that situation, you might think differently. You might not act the way I've said you should do, or the way I've suggested, because there might be different ways of dealing with the situation. But one thing I always suggest as well is to try and stay as calm as possible, regardless of whatever situation, because it allows you to make the best decision for that situation. The people that are in that situation itself, sometimes they're not able to think properly, because obviously they're in that situation, they're emotionally invested in that situation. So obviously their thinking faculty will be very lower, because all they want to do is sort out the situation. But the people on the outside, because they're not in that situation, their mind is more clear, they can think more better, which is a reason why I said you should try and stay calm as much as possible, so that it will allow you to obviously think better as well, to find a better solution to the situation. Moreover as well, there are also things as well you can do, which is obviously things like meditation, exercising, playing sports, or just take your mind away from the situation. It reminds me of a saying in Yoruba which says, "Ẹni tó bá mọnú wò, a mọ̀ pé dá." Ẹni tó bá mọnú wò, a mọ̀ pé dá. Now what that means is, if you are reflective, you'll be very grateful. Now what does that mean? Like I said, some of these things are translated on a literal basis, but they're not supposed to be on a literal basis. You have to think deeper to understand the meaning behind it. So it means if you're very reflective, if you think about things, if you think about your situations, because sometimes some situations are very difficult and you're thinking, is it only me? Why me? Why is this happening to me? And sometimes you have to say to yourself, why is it not happening to you? Maybe because God or the situation is trying to make you stronger. It's trying to make you wiser, it's trying to make you better, it's trying to bring a positive change in your life you don't even know. So if you think like that way, then you'll be forever grateful. You'll be grateful, and the reason why you will be grateful is because you'll think to yourself, wait, I can get through this situation, I can overcome this situation. This situation is gonna make me stronger. What doesn't kill you make you stronger. This situation is going to make me stronger, it's going to make me wiser, it's going to make me better in the long run. So for that reason, you'll be grateful. Also, you'll also be grateful because, first of all, you're not going to be the first person that's got into that kind of situation. That's first thing. And people that have gone into that situation, they've managed to overcome it. And the other reason why you'll be grateful is because there are other people that are in a worse situation than you. So for that reason, you will be grateful. Like it says, "Ẹni tó bá mọnú wò, ó máa mọ̀ pé dá." That's it. So that just means if you are very reflective, if you think about your life in a positive way, you will be forever grateful. And the last part as well, before I move on to the main part of this Wahala Wednesday, is person we get, I'll say in pidgin English actually, person we no person on top of mango tree, no they chop on right foot. Let me say that one more time. Person we no person on top of mango tree, no they chop on ripe fruit. So what does that mean? That means if you know someone in a higher position, I'm just gonna translate it to what I think it means, because I don't know whether that it means that anyway. But for me, what he's trying to say is, if you know a person in a high position, definitely you will get to that high position too, because that person should be able to put you through. That's why it says person we no person on top of mango tree. So if you know someone on top of the mango tree, there's no how you are going to chop on ripe fruit. No how, because the fruit that they're eating, the fruit that they're eating on the top of the mango tree, you will definitely be eating the same fruit as well. Which is why they say if you have 4 or 5 billionaires around you, you will become a billionaire as well. Why? Because those people that are billionaires, they are going to show you the way. They are going to put you through. They are going to give you their knowledge to be able to get to that position. So I'm going to leave you with that. Let me go straight into the video I'm about to make. So first scenario today, I divorced my husband because he refused to listen to my dad to bring my younger brother to the UK. He brought me to the UK. Wow. Now, I never thought this was like a big thing. This is a major thing, but over the years, over a year or two plus, I'm starting to see this around me, around people as well, that there's a level of entitlement. There's a big level of entitlement, especially if you come from my community, if you come from the Nigerian community. Some people have some serious level of entitlement. They feel as if once you've brought them to the UK, or once you've brought a member of their family to the UK, or once you've married them, or once you're with them, they feel like all their family problems is now on your head. And it's like, when it comes to anything except money, oh yeah, we can do it together, blah blah blah. When it comes to anything money related, you're the head of the family. And it's like, he says, I divorced my husband because he refused to listen to my dad to bring my brother to UK. Now obviously, when you get married to someone, yes, of course, you are here to help each other, you're here to assist each other. A good woman that wants to stay in a marriage, her role is to assist the husband and also to make the life of the husband easier. Is not to increase the burden. What I see in this situation is, the wife in this situation, or the family of the wife in this situation, they're trying to increase the husband's burden, which is not supposed to be the case. By marrying someone, that's not a reason for them to come and increase your burden. You're supposed to reduce the burden off each other, not increase the burden. But also as well, why is the dad instructing that they must bring the younger brother to this country, when in this country you have bills to pay, you have rent to pay, some people have mortgage to pay, you still got many other things, cars, and these are serious big demands on an individual that if you're not careful, listen, they can be easily taken away from you. You can end up starting from zero. Especially, let's say for example, in this country, you have a mortgage to pay, and somehow you can't pay your mortgage, for example. The bank won't fight you. They don't need to. What they will do, they'll start coming to your house, take your house off you, or they start pricing your TV that you bought for £4,000. They'll be looking at it thinking, oh, when bailiffs come to your house, they knock on your door, they'll look at you and they'll think, okay, that TV you bought for £4,000, okay, maybe we'll sell it for £250. You start deep in life. So for me, when people start putting this kind of pressure on you, personally, for me, I can't do it. And sometimes as well, for me, I've also realized sometimes it's better to be honest with yourself. What makes you a man is not by you having certain organs in your body. No. What makes you a man is the ability to make tough decisions, to make difficult decisions. When you get to that kind of situation, that's when you become a real man. You don't become a man just because you have a beard or because you have muscles. Nah, that's not what makes you a man. What makes you a man is the ability to make tough decisions. And when it comes to things like these are tough decisions to make, because these are going to challenge you. These are going to test you. These are going to push you to the wall to think, whoa, do I give in to their demands, or do I make demands that is best for your family? And also as well, what makes you a man as well is not to come and make your spouse happy or make yourself happy, especially when you're in a family setting. It's to do what is the best for your family, what will benefit you in the long run, not what will benefit you in the short term, because that's what most people do. They will just do things to benefit themselves in the short term just to make their partner happy. Oh yeah, but in the long run, they are going to feel it. Because it's going to affect not just you, it's going to affect your partner and it's going to affect your family. So when it comes to that kind of things, the best thing to always do is make decisions that is best for your family, to make decision that is best in the long run. For me, when it gets to this kind of level, I'll be honest with you, I'm a very honest person. I'm going to put my hands up and say, look, I can't do it. But if you feel as a result of that you want to divorce me as a result of that, not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Because I cannot come and burden myself just because I want to make you happy or make your family happy. That's just my take on it. If you have a different take on it, please drop it in the comment section and let me know. Second part, a guy married a single mother, and after they got married, he began to complain about the child. The guy's siblings did tell him to become friends with the child, but he didn't listen. After 4 months, they broke up and the mother took one of his properties and £60,000. This was years ago, but 60k would have been around £2,000 now. So this happened many years ago. Obviously 60k back then doesn't seem like a lot of money, but if you convert it to today's money, 60k right now is about £2,000, £200,000, not £2,000. £200,000 is a lot of money. If you convert it to some currencies in some countries, that's enough to apply for their presidency. But £200,000, especially in the UK, that could probably get you a 1-bedroom flat in some certain parts of the UK as well. If you go to like Leeds, in some certain part of the UK, you can get you a 2-bedroom. Obviously it depends on which part you are. But if you're in London, it could probably, if you need another about £50,000 to make it 250,000, if you get 250,000, 300,000, you could probably get a 1-bedroom house or flat, or I don't know, you have to check. But in the story, he says he's a single mother. Now when it comes to single mothers, obviously a lot of the priority is towards the child, and you that wants to marry a single mother, you have to understand that you're not going to be the first priority. Most likely you're not going to become the first priority. So it's either you become good friends with the child, so that you can't just have love for the mother only, you also have to have it for the child as well, so that love that you have for the child will also translate into the mother. Because when it becomes very, very difficult, especially if you get to a situation where, let's say, you're trying to tell the child to do something and the child doesn't do it, or children are very wise these days now, especially when you try to tell them that, oh, do this, do that, and they're like, you're not my dad. And to be honest with you, if that's me in that situation, again, I'm gonna be honest, I can't do it. Because if you're hearing comments like, oh, you're not my dad, that's, no matter who you are, you're gonna have to be a strong man, because he's gonna touch your ego. He's going to touch your ego. And when you're hearing that, I don't know, man, God help you. God help you. But what I'm trying to say as well is, obviously things must have got quite bad, especially maybe he wasn't getting enough attention that he needed, and the woman was putting most of her attention to the child, so obviously he might be frustrated, and obviously that ended up causing problems. And especially when you marry as well legally in this country, in the UK, in terms of doing a civil marriage, obviously that comes with some problems. One of the problems it comes with, everything in the marriage becomes 50-50. So even if the woman didn't bring anything into marriage, but because you've married legally, if you now divorce, she'll be taking half of your property. And that's just it. So obviously the debate, do you get married legally, do you not get married legally, that's something you have to decide between you and your partner. And obviously once she's got married as well, she's also taken one of his properties. He's lucky, because a lot of people in general only have one property, but luckily he's got multiple properties. So hopefully you're gonna feel it as an individual, but at least you'll soften the blow, because you have other properties as well, and also taking £60,000, which is also a lot of money as well. But also as well, a lot of people do not know how to protect their properties as well. There are some certain ways of obviously protecting your properties in the UK. It is very, very tricky, because like I said, one of the ways is probably don't get married illegally. If you maybe just, some people just cohabitate as a result of it. That's also a big factor. Some people cohabitate. That could be, obviously, as a Muslim, you're not encouraged to cohabitate, so you're encouraged to do a nikah. And in the UK as well, nikah is not recognized as a legal marriage, is more termed as a ceremony. So obviously that could be a benefactor for situations like these. Also as well, you could put your properties into a trust. A trust means you own the property, but someone else manage the property for you. That's also another way. Another way as well, obviously changing the property to someone else's name, or gifting the property to a family member, maybe your mom, dad, but that means you don't own the properties. But some of these things you have to go and do your own extra research, or speak to a lawyer or solicitor or people that work in properties, and they'll be able to let you know. With these type of situations, obviously when it comes to things such as love and all these things, obviously you can't, sometimes they say you can't choose who you love. Obviously if you get into that kind of situation, sometimes you don't envisage some certain things until you get into the situation. So when you now get into the situation, that's when reality hits you. But whatever situation you find yourself in, like I always say, like I always mentioned, try and stay calm, try and seek amicable solutions, and also try and find the best possible way out. The last one, so it was a situation, I'm going to just describe the situation, and the person asked me what should they do. So the person is a Muslim. So these couple have been married for many years. So the husband now went to Kenya. When he went to Kenya, he introduced another wife to the family. The husband, older sister, calls up the wife to say, look, your husband had just brought this woman to our family to come and introduce that he wants to take a second wife. Because the wife that your husband brought, the wife wasn't a Muslim, it was from a different religion, he was from a different tribe as well. She obviously didn't welcome the wife, so she decided to tell the first wife. So I'm very close with the first wife, and she narrated what happened to me. He wants to separate if it comes down to that situation. Anyway, she now asked me what should she do. So as she narrated the story to me, and I told her first thing, like always encourage the people. I always say that to myself too. Sometimes it's very difficult, but they say patience is never enough. After patience is patience. You need even more patience. Now, when she now brought it to me, whenever I have situations, I also call her too, and she also advises me as well, which I listen as well. And she always told me to be patient as well. So when she told me about it, she said she needs this, she needs that. I said, look, first thing you need to do is you need to calm down first. Because for me, when situations like these happen, obviously because you're so emotionally attached to these situations, you want to make irrational decisions. You don't think properly. You just rush to make decisions. So I told her, I said, first thing is calm down first. The reason why I said calm down is wait till your husband comes. When your husband does come, you can table this situation to him to hear from his mouth. Because obviously you've heard what the older sister said, and the older sister said this and this is what happened. But also as well, it's very questionable, because let's say, for example, the wife that the husband brought to meet the family, if that wife was a Muslim, would she have called the first wife? Maybe not, because she might have welcomed her. But because he wasn't a Muslim, that's why she called the first wife. So a lot of suspicions in there. I told the first wife, like, look, calm down. When your husband come, you can speak to him, you can ask him, you can find out, is this actually true? Because the older sister might have just heard that maybe the husband was just playing around, maybe he was just joking, but she probably didn't hear that part. So she just heard, oh, I want this woman to be my wife. All of a sudden got into panic mode, called up the first wife. I don't know, but anyways, that's what my take on that situation was. For her to just calm down, listen to what the husband have to say. From there, they will know what the next solution is and what's the best way to move forward. Like I always say, it's not easy to stay calm in most situations. Trust me, it's not easy. I can tell you that for a fact. But I will always encourage, try and stay as calm as possible to give you a breathing space to think properly, to think about what's the best way to attack the situation. Because if you don't stay calm and you rush some of these things, you'll probably end up making the wrong decision. So you have to look at the whole situation as a whole and what's the best way forward. That's my take on Wahala Wednesday. Like I said, if you are very reflective, if you know how to think deep about certain things, trust me, you'll be very, very grateful, because other people as well are in a worse situation than you. And remember, like I said in Pidgin English, if you know person on top of mango tree, person wey know person on top of mango tree, know they eat on ripe fruits. So if you know people that are in the same line as you of things that you want to do, or people that are higher than you, trust me, you'll also be in their position as well. It's your boy Mr. CV. Have a fantastic day. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any scenarios, any situations that you want my advice on, or you want me to give you my opinion on how to handle that situation, you can drop in the email in the description, or you can send me a message on Instagram, on TikTok, on Snapchat, or wherever I am. Just type Mr. CV. There's only one Mr. CV. That's me. Any other Mr. CV is a counterfeit. So listen, it's your boy Mr. CV. Have a fantastic day. Keep watching, keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing, and until next time, watch out for the next Wahala Wednesday.